Hey guys, Miles here at Tactical Hyve, and welcome to another video that revolves around fundamentals. Today's video is going to be about how to reload your pistol, in particular a semi-automatic pistol. We have a lot of videos out there about how to reload that try to kind of go in the weeds a little bit about focusing on specific elements of the reload. This video is going to be different, and it's going to be meant for beginners or new shooters and give you a big picture. It's not going to be too overwhelming. We're not going to dive into many rabbit holes. This is more so that you understand the overall mechanics and you can hit the range and shoot and reload safely on your own. There are a lot of different techniques out there, and the technique I'm going to share with you today is one of the more commonly accepted techniques out there. But again, don't think of it as gospel. There are lots of different styles to use when reloading your pistol. So as you'll notice, I'm wearing my holster on the outside, my gun belt here, my magazine pouches are outside here, just to simplify things. If you're a concealed carry holder, you're probably not going to have this set up, but this is the easiest way to learn the mechanics for your reload. Just not having to worry about dealing with garments or different positions, just to learn the mechanics. And then later you can throw on your concealed carry holster and put your mag pouch wherever you would, your extra mag pouch if you're a concealed carrier, and then practice from there. So let's start first with mag placement. Typically speaking, and you're going to have different schools of thought here, but typically speaking, when you place your mags in your mag pouches, if you have multiple ones here, typically your bullets are going to face forward. Now you're going to have people who like to do it a different style, right? And that's completely up to you. We're going to discuss with bullets forward because that is the most common here. And so what happens is when you run dry, we're just talking about this first, the mag pouches here. When you run dry, you need to do something that's referred to as indexing your mag. What that means is you want to grab your mag, have an index on your mag, okay, so a particular index or position where when you pull your mag out from the mag pouch, you know that it's indexed or it's in a proper position that will allow you to reload effectively and efficiently. And with the bullets forward position, the index that is typically used is where your index finger is going to ride in front of the mag pouch here, just like this. So when I pull my magazine out of the pouch, I have it here close to where the bullets are. If my bullets are facing out, I want my index finger here, just like this. Okay, now this would be the index. Before I move on from there, I do want to mention something. Notice how when I'm reloading here or going for my magazine pouch, I'm going for the magazine that's closest to me. I'm not going back here, I'm going to the closest mag. And so when I index here, this will be faster. If I need a reload, typically I want to reload quickly, so I'm going to go for the mag closest to me, right? Closest to my hand. We already talked about the mag pouches here, how you might want to orient your mag, how to index, okay? And typically speaking, you're going for the first mag. Now let's talk about the pistol here. So I'm dry, okay? And I'm going to pretend that we are going to slide lock. Slide lock means where you run out of bullets completely and your slide locks back, okay? We're not talking about a speed reload where you have one in the chamber still, okay? We're pretending I ran out of ammo completely. So in this situation, I'm going to grab an empty mag here. I'm going to place it here. So I'm pretending I'm shooting, and I feel that my slide locks back. The more you shoot, the more you're going to feel the sensation or know exactly when your gun has run out of ammo, because you're going to feel a different sensation. If you don't recognize that as you're starting to shoot, don't worry, in time it will. You'll build that experience. You'll have enough experience to build the feeling of what it is or know what it feels like when you have slide lock. So in this particular situation here, what you want to do first is you want to bring your gun in your workspace. Now remember, there's lots of different techniques. I'm just going to share one that is pretty common among lots of different instructors out there. So what happens is I'm shooting, my slide locks back to the rear. I am going to bring my gun into my workspace. This is my workspace. I can see my gun, my gun right in front of me. I can see what's beyond that too. I still have situational awareness here. We go to a lot of classes where a lot of beginners who do not really know how to reload, they're looking down like this so they don't see what's going on around them. Sometimes they'll just bring their gun down like this. So one, they have the gun way down here, and also they don't have situational awareness. They're looking way down, okay? So you want to keep your gun right in your workspace, which is pretty much aligned with your eyes, just like this. At the same time you're doing this, there are going to be a few other motions. but I'm breaking it down step by step first so you understand what they are, and then we'll combine them. So slide blocks back to the rear. I'm bringing my gun to my workspace here. As I bring my gun to my workspace, I want to be pressing on the mag release of my pistol so that the magazine will fall out. Now there's a lot of details to this which we can go down a rabbit hole, but we're going to cover the wave tops here. So as I bring this gun here, I'm just demonstrating with one arm right now so you can see everything. I feel the slide lock back. I bring my gun to my workspace and I press the mag release so my magazine falls. A couple notes here. When you are hitting your mag release, depending on your grip size, your mag release button, the size of your hands, that'll dictate a few things. You might need to kind of twist the gun a little bit to actually reach the mag release. It's a little bit different. I have short hands, so I have to do this. I have to shimmy that gun a little bit so I can hit the mag release. Some people will not have to do that at all. They just need to turn the gun and they can press. If they have longer hands and maybe their gun is set up in a way where it's very easy. So keep that in mind. You may need to do this, you may not. Some people, they can't hit the mag release on their own, but they also do not like to do this technique where they're shimmying the gun in their hand. Some of them, what will happen is when they're shooting slide locks back, they will hit the mag release with their support hand thumb. So the mag goes down and then they will continue the reload. We're just going to stick with the more common one where someone usually shimmies the gun if you have smaller hands and the mag releases, it falls to the ground. Okay, so I talked about that all of these steps that I'm going to be talking about should happen simultaneously, but I'm breaking them down step by step. So let me just get another mag here. There's no bullets, okay? So what's going to happen now, we already talked about slide locks back. I bring the gun into my workspace and simultaneously, what should I be doing too? I release the mag. Something else should be happening too. So as this comes to my workspace, I'm releasing the mag, my support hand comes off of my pistol, and this is now going to be indexing, which we just talked about. So all of those motions are happening at the same time. And I'm going to do it slow here. Slide locks back. I'm going to bring the gun in my workspace. As I reach for the mag release, the magazine's going to fall and I grab my fresh mag here. I index. So I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to pause. Okay. So that sets me up. So I'm now in this position where I can still see everything. I have an index on my mag, or the fresh mag in my magazine pouch. Now I can move on. So at this point here, I have a good grip. Now I pull my magazine out of the pouch, and what I'm going to do at this point is, since I already know my bullets are facing up with this particular index, this is lined up with exactly where I want my bullets to point in the mag well. Imagine my bullets were pointing backwards here and I did this, it doesn't work, right? So again, this is why the index is important for this particular technique. So once I release or pull the magazine out of my pouch, I want to, for a split second, look at my mag well. This is the mag well here of your pistol. And this allows me to know exactly where I'm going to insert my mag. I don't want to blindly do this, okay? Now, there's a lot of debate. Some people will say you don't need to do that or you shouldn't look. One of the more common practices is to look for a split second, all right? And I'm not going to go into the pros and cons or debate here. This is, again, just the wave tops of reloading your pistol. So I release the mag, I'm looking at the mag well, and now what I want to do is I want to physically look and make sure that this magazine is seated. It actually, the tip of this magazine is already in the mag well. Once it is already in the mag well, I can release this index finger and literally just use my palm to slam it into the firearm here, okay, into the mag well. Now, some people will actually take it really slow here, and when they do this, they might not actually push the magazine enough, and it might not be seated. And what happens is kind of embarrassing, where they take a shot, and the mag just falls on the ground. It happens very often among new shooters and beginners. So let me do this all again, and notice what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop at this point, and then I'm going to explain something here. The slide goes back. Simultaneously, I bring the gun to my workspace, I release the mag, I grab my new mag, I index. Here I'm looking at my mag well, and from here, notice I have the tip inside the mag well here. I'm going to actually slam the mag in. I'm not really gentle with my reloads, and you don't really need to be with your firearms here. You want to make sure it's seated, okay? So now that it's seated like this, I know I am halfway there. At this point, what I'm going to do is I need to make sure to send the slide forward. Okay, I'm just going to show you the motion, then I'll talk about it. The slide is going to be sent forward. Now there's a bullet in the chamber, and I have a loaded mag, then I can re-engage and fire. Let's go back and let's talk about sending the slide forward. So let's assume I'm here, I've inserted the mag, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to shoot. There are a number of different ways to send your slide forward to get your gun back in the fight, so to speak, okay? And I'm going to discuss a few. There's a lot of different methods out there, and find the one that works best for you. If you shoot long enough, you're going to run into discussions where there are pros and cons to each method. I'm not going to dive into the weeds, okay? So pick the one that feels comfortable for you and use it. And as you continue in your shooting journey, you can figure out what works best for you. So the first method I'm going to show to you is the slingshot method. We're already assuming that we have reloaded our pistol, and just so you're aware, I have dummy rounds in this pistol, okay, so that I can actually do the slingshot and you can see the actual action here. So I've reloaded, I've actually inserted the mag here, I'm ready to go. So what's going to happen is, all I'm going to do after I do this is I'm going to twist the gun. This is the slingshot method where I'm going to pinch the rear slide here. I'm going to pull it back like a slingshot and I'm going to let go. I do not follow the slide forward. I just pull and then let go. Okay, I exaggerated that motion. I typically would not go that far. What I would do instead, you're going to see a dummy round fly out here. What I would do instead is I would pull it, but go right about here, then regrip. So I'm going to do the slingshot, then regrip. So now there is a bullet in the chamber and I can re-engage. Okay, so that is the slingshot method. Now let's do a different method here. So I'm going to rack my slide here. I'm assuming that I've already reloaded. So now another method is to just rack the slide from the top. This is the over the top method. Now, since I have a red dot, there are different ways to do this, but let me just show you what typically you might see iron sight shooters. With a red dot, you could possibly just do this, but after they reload, some shooters will bring it down, bring this gun back here, then rack the slide. If they don't have red dot, they might grab the rear of the slide and then rack it. So just like this, it looks something like that. Then they can re-engage. Okay, so that's the over the top method. Now let's do two more methods here. So I'm going to rack that dummy round out. I'm assuming that I have inserted my mag, I'm ready to go. So I've reloaded here, okay? And now I want to get my gun back into the fight, okay? So you could also, if your thumbs are long enough, or you could again use that shimmy technique, you can hit the slide release right here with your thumb. This is going to send one forward and then you can regrip. So you reload, hit the slide release with your thumb, and then present. Okay, so that is the third method. The fourth method is using the slide release, but we are going to release it with our support hand. So for the same reasons why some people don't like to shimmy the gun in their hand, maybe they just don't feel secure, they might drop the gun and when they're trying to release their mag. The same reason, same logic, you can use your support hand to release this slide release. So I insert my mag here and I can press this slide release with my support hand thumb. So I insert my mag, press it, now I'm ready to go. Okay? So those are 4 different methods to get your gun back in the fight. Send the slide forward so that you have one in the chamber, you have a new mag, and you're ready to go. So we went over the different types of reload techniques you can use. What I'm going to do is do this live at a medium speed, 50% speed, so that you can see it in a fluid motion. With the mag release, I am just going to focus or use where I am shimmying this grip and hitting the mag release here. Then I will demonstrate the different techniques to send the slide forward. Okay, so from the slingshot to over the top and then using the slide release. Okay, so how I'm going to set this up is I have a mag with 1 bullet in here, okay? And I'm going to load this in here, send the slide forward. So I am hot, okay? Have my eyes and ears ready to go and shoot. This mag is fully loaded. So what's going to happen is after I take that shot, slide is going to lock back, and then I am going to do my technique, the actual repetition. The first technique I'm going to use is the slingshot. Okay, so this is about 50% speed here. I'm going to break the shot. and that is the slingshot method. So now I have one in the chamber. There's one bullet there, nothing in the mag well. Picking up this mag here, it's an empty mag. So I'm gonna do the same exact thing, and now I'm going to demonstrate the over-the-top method. Now just keep in mind the over-the-top method, there's also different ways to do it with whether you have a red dot or not. And one thing I want you to notice is when I'm releasing that mag, again, I keep the gun up. Don't make that beginner mistake of looking down and putting your gun down, okay? So here we go. All right, so that's the over-the-top method. So now again, I have one in the chamber, an empty mag. I'm going to add this in here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the method of sending the slide forward with the slide release, okay? This right here. All right. Now the fourth method, I'm going to use my support hand thumb to hit the slide release. So I'm going to rehash everything here. Empty mag, and here we go. So there you have it, 4 different methods there. Remember, there are different methods to releasing the mag, but I'm just sharing the most common one. And if you're curious to try the other methods, just look back at the video so you can see the other methods that I use so that you can experiment with it. So there you have it. That's your basic primer on how to reload your pistol. Make sure to check out our other videos about reloading, which dive into a lot of different other techniques. We dive into deeper with the details. Again, this video is to get you started, to get you enough information so that you can go to the range, do your reload safely and effectively so that you can have some fun. See you guys in the next video.